Hello everyone and teacher, and today I'd like to tell you about my research topic and research paper in general, that what I have done during for these months. My research topic is the usage of strategies and techniques to students for the IELTS listening. And here is my research questions, and during my presentation I will answer to all of these questions. Now let's take a look. What problems can be faced by students in IELTS listening? It is the first research question. Second one is which strategies and techniques can be applied for each section. And third one, it is what is the beneficial of these strategies and techniques. So the purpose of the study is to find the most appropriate strategies and techniques that can be used by students in IELTS listening preparation. And now I'd like to tell you the meaning of the strategy. According to Mintzberg, strategy it is the example, an act, plan, position, and point of view. And now the meaning of word technique. According to the Collins Dictionary, technique it is doing an activity which involves practical skills. And now I'd like to tell you the difference between strategy and technique. Strategy, it's something that you consider and plan your thoughts. Technique, it is something that you improve step by step. And next is about an overview of some strategies for listening. First is educational, as you can see, it is comparing the facts. Second one is communicative, is behavior of speaking. Third one is cognitive, based on relevant information. Fourth one is autonomous learning. It's progress of developing listening skills, and in this progress, students become more confident in listening area. Then it is constructive. It is imaginative prediction. Then is compensatory. It is when students turn off his or her visuals and only concentrate on the sound. And then is memory strategies. It is receiving, recording, saving, and reproducing. And now I'd like to tell you about historical background of IELTS. IELTS has been developed replacing the traditional test, the large number of traditional tests actually, and one of these tests, it is the English Proficiency Test battery, is used by British Council in the middle of 60s. But then IELTS came into the power in 1989. And now let's move to the methodology part. In my methodology part, I will answer to my research question. But first, I have chosen the qualitative approach, and here is the two reasons. And now I am going to explain. First, it is a qualitative approach is very useful to know the participants or students' perception, to know about their feelings, attitudes, and so on. And second reason, it is the qualitative approach is flexible and it can adjust the course of the process. And now let's move to the listening. There is three types of listening. First is listening for the guest. It is understanding the main. Second one is listening for the specific detail. It is listening for the keywords. Third one is listening for detailed understanding. It how you comprehend the given information. And in this research, general strategies and techniques were divided into three sections. First is the before listening, while listening, and after listening. And now let's move to the research design. Here I answered to my first research question. My first question was, what problems can be faced by students in IELTS listening? So here is a list of common problems. First is students trying to understand every word. And second is they are trying to understand the meaning of the previous word. Third is they do not know the word and also its spelling and the meaning. Fourth is they are distracted by background noise. Fifth is they do not recognize the difference between two words, even if they know them. Sixth one, they have problems with accents. And seven, it's lack of time. And now it is time to answer to my second research question. My question was, which strategies and techniques can be applied for each section? And now let's move to the section number 1. First, it is alphabet revising. So, you know that in English alphabet there are some similar letters, such as G, J, A, I, and S, C. And many students are confusing while they hear the spelling. And my advice for you is write down these letters exactly in this way. It will be easy to memorize. Yeah. So, second one is prediction techniques. What does it mean? If students do not know the answer or just they missed it, they should remember the grammar rules. It will give enough hint for them to know whether it is a noun or verb. And the third one, it is important to not stick at one task. Just write any letter that you can hurt, and then after the listening you will be given like 30 seconds and you'll just come back and write it. So let's move to IELTS section 2. In section 2, first strategy and advice, it is read the instructions very carefully. It's one of the basic and one of the important strategy for all IELTS sections. And second one is analyzing all the questions. You are must able to understand the questions. Third one is predicting possible answers. It means that by looking the content, students are able to predict what they can be given in the audio. Fourth one is listening for the specific. Students should search images such as dates, location, numbers, names, and so on. Fifth is keep moving forward. Sometimes you can face with lose the sequences of the answer. To avoid this problem, you should look 1 or 2 questions ahead. And IELTS section 3. Let's move to the IELTS section 3. Here is analyzing all the questions like in the IELTS section 2. Preparing yourself to distinguish voice. It means that you, in IELTS section 3, you can have the different accents. One is $3-5 or elimination unlikely answer. What does it mean? So this strategy is really like great for the multiple choice, and the students should put $3 to the answer that they are think is less correct, like less correct, yeah, and and then they should put $5 to the answer that they think the most appropriate. Then is monkey test. Also, this strategy is really useful for the multiple choice. During the listening, they do not have enough time to think, and if students completely do not understand the content of this task, they should just put one. They just have to choose one answer without hesitation. So let's move to the IELTS section 4, the last section. The first strategy, it is the students should use the time that was given in section 3. Like students are given about the 15 seconds, and in these 15 seconds, students should look through the questions to be prepared for them. And now I'd like to tell you about my experiment. My participants, it was my participants was participants were my participants were the upper intermediate students from Süleyman Demirel University. The number of participants is 10 people. Gender is mixed, age 19 to 21, and the place, the experiment was conducted in Süleyman Demirel University. Here is my independent variables. My independent variables is strategies and the techniques and IELTS tests. Dependent variables results. About the result of my experience wasn't such great as I was expected, but even though while interviewing, many participants, I mean the majority of them, really enjoyed the process, and even they take into account some strategies that they will use in the future. And next, my limitation. The main limitation was lack of time, because we had only 40 minutes to do the IELTS section, because almost all my participants were third-year students, and it was really hard to gain them at one time. And second is the schedule of the participants. As I said before, it was really hard to gain them in one place at one time. And my recommendation for the first investigation, it is as I said before, the experiment didn't show the big results, and like next time, it is better to select participants which is level which is lower than the upper intermediate. And I think if I would choose the pre or intermediate level students, the result will be much better. Thank you for your attention.